Hello, welcome to Astronautics for Exploit. This is Dr. Ayashola Ogundele. Lunar economic activities, future quintillion-dollar activities, and contributors to the evolution of global economy. The focus points of my presentation are as follows: lunar economy and potential lunar economic opportunities. Human advances in space activities fueled by the commercialization of various space endeavors, are being propelled by various business strategies, innovations, and technology advancement. For example, investment and development of reusable rocket technologies is reducing the launch cost and increasing people's eagerness to embark on space tourism, and more resources prospecting and selling of space commodities for use in space or bringing to market down the gravity well on the Earth. Prior to the physical exploration of the Moon in 1950s using space probe, the main means of exploring the Moon had been through observation from the Earth. After the advent of lunar space probe, for the collection of Moon scientific information and resources composition, many Moon resources that are of high economic values have been discovered. Presently, based on technological advancement, humans are moving from age of discovery to the age of actualization of various moon exploration ideas and concepts developed over the years. The moon, a natural satellite of the Earth and a potentially enormous repository of natural wealth, has many attractive commodities and resources, such as abundant water ice at the moon's south pole, which is crucial for setting up lunar bases or colonies, and silicon materials useful for the manufacturing of lunar solar panels. Rare earth metals on the moon, such as neodymium and platinum, are found to be useful in developing speakers, smartphones, batteries, and camera lenses technologies. Moon metals could be used for the construction of lunar bases, colonies, and cities, and helium-3 materials could be used for the manufacturing of hypothetical fusion reactors. Based on the research findings that prospecting, harvesting, and manufacturing of the moon on-top resources for use in lunar villages and bases, and transportation to the Earth for humans' use could worth quintillion dollars in the future. A lot of lunar commercialization activities and emerging business opportunities are being mapped out for the benefit of humankind. Lunar economy, a subset of space economy, and an economy based on a range of business economic activities involving exploration, management, and utilization of moon resources for the betterment of human beings is evolving and gaining high interest from government space agencies, private space companies, universities, and interested individuals based on its perceived and potential high return on investment. Lunar economy. A lunar economy encompasses all general economic activity associated with the production, use, and exchange of lunar resources on the moon's surface, in lunar orbit, and on Earth. There are a huge variety of potential activities that fit into the description of a lunar economy, such as lunar transportation, lunar data, and in situ resource utilization. The picture here shows artist's impression of surface operations on the moon. Lunar transportation encompasses both cislunar space and lunar orbits, including the travel routes between Earth and the Moon, and is driven mainly by the ferrying of humans and resources to and from the Moon in order to develop human presence in the Moon's vicinity and on its surface. Lunar data commercialization involves the exploitation on the Earth of different types of data gathered during lunar missions. It includes technical data associated to the preparation of space missions or research on space resources and is completed to a smaller extent by entertainment data for various leisure applications on Earth. The picture here shows an artist's impression of the SpaceX Starship, which was optimized for lunar missions. Exploitation of in-situ resources includes mining and extracting resources, manufacturing products, building infrastructure, as well as exporting goods and materials for scientific purposes to support human presence or as commercial activities in the medium and long term. ISRU activities are the basic building blocks of establishing a self-sufficient lunar economy. The picture here shows artist's impression of a moon-based concept using solar arrays for energy generation, greenhouses for food production, and habitats seeded from with regolith. Increase in investment. The lunar economy is gradually becoming a possibility due to increase in investment and interest from wider populace of the world. Space economy based on the recent activities. Lunar economy, a subset of space economy, is a promising quintillion-dollar economy, which is propelled to have greater contribution to the global economy, the economy of all humans of the world, referring to the global economic system. The picture here shows concept art of an efficient lunar mining facility. Potential lunar economic opportunities. Different potential lunar economic opportunities, which are good contributors to the evolution of lunar economy, are as follows: lunar-based solar power, lunar prospecting, lunar transportation and logistics, lunar construction, lunar entertainment, lunar education, lunar food production, and lunar earth services. Each of them is highlighted as follows. Lunar-based solar power. Lunar power is one of the most significant challenges to the implementation of a continuously manned lunar base. Based on this fact, a lot of research efforts are geared towards designing efficient power supply for the moon. The main solution to providing power for a lunar base is solar power. The picture here shows illustration of a vertical solar to be used as a power source on the surface of the moon. Lunar power concepts. Various lunar power concepts are being proposed to supply power to the moon and transmission of solar power to the Earth. Lunar ring concept is a speculative engineering project which consists of a series of solar generators disposed around the equator of the moon that could send the generated electric energy back to the Earth via microwaves from the near side of the moon. The picture here shows a space solar array that consists of one large structure or many smaller ones gathered together. Commercial power service. Astrobotic company is working on plans to develop a commercial power service for the moon. This is essential for creating long-term infrastructure on the lunar surface. Lunar power as a source of income and contributed to the global economy. After the actualization of the various lunar power concepts, the designers will have high return on investment, and this will eventually lead to the increase in global economy. The picture here shows illustration of the harvest of terawatts of solar power on the moon. Lunar prospecting. There are vast unexplored regions on the moon. Lunar prospecting will allow scientists to have a better understanding of the lunar terrain and prepare missions in which lunar soil can be used to create oxygen or fuel as propellant. Ability to extract oxygen directly from lunar rocks and soil will be an efficient and sustainable way to support human life or spacecraft propulsion. Demonstration of lunar prospecting is shown in this picture. Over the years, various research and robotic activities have been dedicated to prospecting and mining the moon. NASA's lunar prospector orbited the moon for almost 19 months so as to map its surface composition and to look for polar ice. The probe found evidence suggesting water ice at both poles. The mission ended with the spacecraft impacting the lunar surface, creating a dust cloud that was studied from the Earth. The picture here shows an artist's concept of the lunar prospector spacecraft just before the impact on the moon. Water enables a variety of industrial processes and supports a sustainable human presence on the moon. The prospecting, extraction, storage, and distribution of water will be important tasks. Water can be transformed into oxygen and hydrogen for life support and fuel. Once the lunar prospecting and mining activities are well developed, then there will be cost saving because of no need to bring material from the earth. This in turn will increase revenue. An illustration of a future settlement on the moon is shown in this picture. Lunar transportation and logistics is another business opportunities. Movement of humans, equipment, resources and materials is very important for the success of the lunar colonization mission. Factors that need to be considered include cost, time, weight, propulsion, and safety. Three forms of lunar transportation are transportation from the Earth to the Moon, transportation on the Moon, and transportation from the Moon to the Earth. The picture here shows lunar transport vehicle, a heavy transport workhorse designed to shuttle cargo and supplies, and the occasionally replacement crew personnel to the Moon. The concept development of lunar transportation and logistics. Various concepts of lunar transportation and logistics activities are being proposed so as to ease transportation of raw and processed lunar materials from one location to the other. A lunar orbit transport system has been proposed using tethers to achieve momentum exchange. Payload from the lunar surface and transport them to Earth, but could also soft land payloads onto the lunar surface. Concept of future commercial lunar transportation is shown in this picture. Float, flexible levitation on a track. Float concept of transportation is being proposed. The concept is to build the first lunar railway system, which will provide reliable, autonomous, and efficient payload transport on the moon. A durable, long-life robotic transport system will be critical to the daily operations of a sustainable lunar base in the 2030s, as envisioned in NASA's Moon to Mars plan and mission concepts like the robotic lunar surface operations. The picture here shows artist's depiction of the float lunar railway system, which is being planned to provide reliable, autonomous, and efficient payload transport on the moon. Lunar construction is another business opportunity. Lunar structures are being planned to be built utilizing indigenous materials. The locally available materials include lunar regolith, cast regolith, glass and glass composites, metals and concrete. Their mechanical properties are summarized and their suitability for lunar construction is evaluated. Lunar crate, which is also known as moon crate, is an hypothetical construction aggregate, similar to concrete, formed from lunar regolith that will reduce the construction cost of building on the moon. Artist's concept depicting an example of a construction strategy from contour crafting and Universal Zlatan California is shown in this picture. 3D printing. NASA is working on the concept of 3D printing of habitats on the moon as means to avoid lugging huge and heavy amounts. Icon Company has been assigned the pivotal task of developing the means for NASA to build critical infrastructure such as landing pads, habitats, and roads on the lunar surface on the moon to further its Artemis ambitions. The company will oversee the development of lunar construction technologies. This will help in increasing lunar economy. An illustration of the construction of a lunar outpost with astronauts on the surface of the moon is shown in this picture. Lunar entertainment is another aspect of business opportunities, which will lead to increase in lunar economy. Series of lunar entertainment activities are being proposed for the entertainment of lunar base of village inhabitants. Lunar entertainment also involves virtual and augmented reality services to luxury tourism. The picture here shows rendering of a future space station orbiting the moon. Lunar education is another business opportunity that is being researched on. Series of lunar educational activities are being proposed. Lunar education services are to empower both lunar inhabitants and audiences on Earth, and to connect astronauts on the moon with families, friends, and colleagues on Earth. Artist rendering of the first two components of the Gateway Outpost is shown in this picture. Lunar food production. Moon soil is found to be fertile enough to grow plants successfully, and this was proved by scientists through a study after achieving the fruit for the first time in history. Space botanists are working on strategies to grow crops on the lunar surface as NASA makes strides towards sending astronauts to the moon through the Artemis program. A team of scientists at the University of Florida successfully grew small plants using lunar soil samples. Researchers at the University of Florida that grew plants in lunar regolith is shown in this picture. Lunar greenhouse. Researchers at the University of Arizona have developed a lunar greenhouse that grows plants without soil. The prototype greenhouse is an 18-foot-long tube that contains water-cooled sodium vapor lamps and envelopes to hold the seeds. The idea of the lunar greenhouse is that something similar could one day supply food to astronauts on the moon or Mars. The picture here shows the prototype of lunar greenhouse. The lunar greenhouse is designed to be buried beneath the moon's surface so as not to be destroyed by cosmic rays and solar flares. It will be operated autonomously so that food could be ready when astronauts arrive. A lunar greenhouse could be essential for colonizing the moon, which has no atmosphere, no natural water, and extreme temperatures. Illustration of food production on the moon is shown in this picture. Lunar Earth Services. Monitoring and preserving the Earth of lunar inhabitants with the help of lunar or terrestrial medical teams is of high importance, and this is being looked into by the researchers. Assisted or robotic telesurgery, search and rescue operations are some of the areas receiving high attention. The picture here shows concept of a future lunar base. For more information, contact Astronautics for Exploit. You've been watching and listening to Lunar Economic Activities, Future Quintillion-Dollar Activities, and Contributors to the Evolution of Global Economy, presented by Dr. Ayanshola Ogundele, Astronautics for Exploit, with the focus points lunar economy and potential lunar economic opportunities. Thank you.